I'm a fan of live performance, period. Tom's not feeling right. Hold up.
What is up, locals? We are back in the gauntlet, the hot sauce gauntlet. We got Mr. DJ Carbon with us today. Carbon, what's up, brother?
Man, living my best life. I'm coming in cold. I was thinking, I'm like, how do you prep for? Do you overhydrate? Do you put some bread on this stuff? I'm like, is there or do you? I mean, I'm coming in raw. I'm just raw dogging right now. Didn't eat. This is the first meal of the day. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Raw dogging. There we go.
Here we go.
We're going with anti-gravity first here. This is local hot sauce. Heat Mavericks makes this, and it's their classic hot sauce. Barely any burn.
Yeah.
What would you say, Darren?
It's low end.
What kind of flavor are we dealing with here? The consistency's looking kind of Louisiana hot sausage, which is where.
Yes, and that's kind of where I put this one in, is with the Louisiana hot sauce, the chipula. What is it?
Oh yeah.
Chipotle. No.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Cholula.
Yeah.
Cholula. I just had.
I can see the label in my head, but yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with this one. We'll let you go first. You could just. There's no stopper in it, so just however much you wanna. You can put like the smallest bit, or you can lather it up.
You said this one's easy, so we'll just that right.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, there's no practicing. You just go.
Yeah, obviously your chicken's half gone before we even put
So
sauce
I
on
make a
it.
boat.
Darren makes little boats.
So I take and that way it floats and.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. So Carbon, DJ's not your name. Carbon's not your name. Your name's James Bobetsky.
James Bobetsky.
What's the story behind DJ Carbon? Where'd that come from?
So when I was a kid, I was 14 years old in nightclubs. Not supposed to be there, but my cousin was a DJ. So I would haul his crates of vinyl records into the club, and I would just hang out in the DJ booth. This is where I fell in love with DJing, like seeing what he was doing. And I was a young kid, not supposed to be there. Some people might slip me a drink. Some people would refill my Shirley Temple, depending on what they thought about it. But so the club he worked at all the time, I was kind of this kid that everybody knew from there. Well, that club closed down. He started DJing other spots. That name of that club was Carbon. Like, hey, it's that Carbon kid. And after I moved here, there was another guy named James, Big Spade. He had a party house, and every time we go over, hey James, yeah, what's up? No, not you, the other one. I'm like, oh god, this is annoying. Closest thing I ever to a nickname was that Carbon kid. So I'm like, we're gonna run with that. And the rest is history. To this day, like if I meet someone, I'm like, hey, how you doing, James? And then someone over my shoulder, and it'll be, that's not James, that's Carbon. And I'm like, it just feels weird to introduce myself that way. But
Yeah.
I mean, until Facebook, no one knew what my government name was. Like Facebook, like when you had that official name, it was like, who is that? Like that's Carbon. What is this James? Yeah,
That's awesome.
but good old Carbon.
I don't have a cool nickname. You, Darren?
Hackney. Just my last name.
Hackney. D-Hack. I like D-Hack.
D-Hack.
See, I used to once upon a time I was a rapper, and I used to do graffiti as well. And my tag was Chrism, CRISM, which stood for rising, RIS, out of the middle of these backwards MCs. CRIS. I thought I was so clever, but I was just like, no one's ever going to get this, but damn, I'm cool.
All right, this next one's called Peachy Sweet. We get this from Pepper Mike. You can get his stuff off of Facebook. His name's Mike Simpson. If anybody wants it, I'll put a link in the show notes here. But this one's got like a peachy flavor. It's not too hot either.
All right, we're going to use the same wing because I'm going to have to dial it down, I think, going forward. So
I'm going to use the same wing as well. And this one does have a little dropper in it, but it's really not needed either, if you ask me.
Yeah.
This one's really good on eggs and breakfast type
This is
stuff.
good. Simple and good.
All right, here we go.
oh yeah, I could definitely, like you said, yes,
Yeah, so you get that little sweet taste in the very beginning, and then the heat comes after. So Carbon, the history behind the stash, man. I know when we first met, it was probably like 12 years ago at a wedding. You were DJing, I was videoing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't the masterpiece that it's become today. So tell us
No,
the evolution of the stash.
so this was a No Shave November thing 12 years ago, I think, actually. So No Shave November, me and a bunch of friends, we always had a website, would raise funds for prostate cancer research and everything. And so I grew it out, I had a little baby curl at the end of a month. So I'm like, oh, it's funny. And then a buddy of mine was getting married, and his fiance is like, can you keep that for our wedding? Which was like in December, I want to say. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So even then, just a little baby curl, kind of funny. Right after that, I was in a DJ battle, and I just hadn't gotten around to shaving. And one of the guys, to make fun of me, threw on a fake mustache. I was like, I'm DJ Corbin. I'm like, dude, I had this 2 months, and it's a thing? So at that point, I'm like, oh, I'm going to run with it. And literally, the best marketing and branding I could ever do. And, you know, me and Derek, we've had this conversation. Like, if people think about you with you doing nothing, whatever it is, like, how many times have you been tagged in bacon things? I've never seen you push bacon anymore, but it used to be
Oh,
a
that's a
very...
big thing.
But anytime someone saw bacon, that I saw Darren get tagged in it. Anytime there was a dog or a cat or an animal with a mustache, I would get tagged. If they think about you without you working, you have won. So yeah, I just stuck with it, and it literally is the best brand because everyone's like, DJ Carbon, mustache. I'm like, this is the universal sign for Carbon.
That Carbon.
Like, yeah. So it just became really good, and you know, working enough events and having a look and something that people could identify was just great. I mean, even during COVID, I remember, you know, we're all masked up, and I could see people like, I think that's him, but I'm not sure. So literally, even during COVID, every mask I had, it was printed. I got like Mario Brothers, something that had a mustache printed on the front. And they're like, dude, you are staying on brand through a pandemic. I was just like, but they knew it, and they're like, wow, well done. That's it. So yeah, at this point, I'm just like, we're gonna keep doing it until I gotta go into witness protection. Then I'll shave, and no one will know who I am.
That's right. All right, this one is another one that's not too much hotter. This is from Keeper of the Flames. And I'll pause right here because this video is sponsored by Sweet and Saucy. It's a local shop where you can go get candy. You can go get gross drinks that really aren't that gross, but they just have gross names.
Unique ones for sure.
Unique. But they have a whole wall of hot sauce, and Derek Sorrells owns it. He came up with the Keeper of the Flames line of hot sauces. I think there's 6 or 7 of them in it now. We're going to have 4 of them here today.
I've actually had this one, picked it up from there myself. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, once again, it's this video is sponsored by Sweet and Saucy, so if you haven't been to the store lately, you can go get socks even there too. A lot of fun socks. So a lot of fun things to do at Sweet and Saucy, so go check those out. Carbon, I'll let you douse yours up first.
Yeah, man. I didn't know that Derek was behind this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, man. If you don't know, go support all of Derek's endeavors. Derek is just that Wichita guy that's creating really, really cool stuff in this town. And I'm here for all of them. So.
Oh, yeah. The arcade, which we're actually going to later, he started that up.
Yep, him and Mike. And yeah, he's got the Lego build and Papa's General Store.
Just a Sip.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
All the fun things.
And not only that, I remember when Papa's General, what was it, a few years ago, the hot chocolate bomb was all the rage.
Oh, yeah.
And you couldn't even find the molds, but my daughter was really into it. He actually invited me, and he's like, come by and check out how we did that. I was like, dude. And it just meant the world, man. Just a great guy.
That's
Great
awesome.
guy.
All right, Mango and Delano. Here we go. So I'm pretty sure you get asked a lot, like, what's your favorite song? And that's like the worst question to ask a DJ because there's so many that you probably love, as I do myself. So, but I will ask you, genre. Like, what are some of your favorite genres, and what puts you in the mood for those genres?
So I'm a big funk and soul guy. I love classic soul, R&B, 60s, 70s, James Brown, to the currents like your Charles Bradleys, and you know, I'm really stoked. Alan Stone's coming to Riverfest this year. St. Paul and the Broken Bones. These soul singers that just have got it. I'm a big fan of. But yeah, but I mean, my tastes are really eclectic. You know, DJing. Although a lot of people think it's about the DJ, I will say, until you get to that certain level of your Dead Mouses and all these guys. But me, I'm customer service. I'm trying to make whatever my client wants work and make them happy. So there's me involved in that, but my tastes don't really run too deep in that. But yeah, I mean, I just, you know, for me, music, because it's become such a work thing, it's got to be. Sometimes I just got to turn away. I've actually made it a point where I've got a recliner. I will sit in my recliner with headphones on and listen to an album once a week. Like, just completely turn the world off, put the headphones on, lock in for an hour or however long it is, and just enjoy some music. So That, and I also just still love just cruising around town, windows down, and the right vibes. And right now the weather's hitting just right, so I've been playing on Spotify Finga's Radio, Fingazz. He's like a new school talk box, so he uses like the Zapp and Roger talk box, and it's like a lot of like G-funk sounds, but it's just like really hitting and just ultimate riding around cruising music, man. So, but yeah, my tastes are really eclectic. I mean, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. You know, Prince, probably my all-time #1 favorite artist. Tribe Called Quest is my favorite group of all time. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit of everything. So, I mean, I've learned to appreciate just about everything. And, you know, music I've got done a lot from, you know, I mean, I've opened from Snoop Dogg and Wu-Tang to Thomas Rhett and Keith Urban. You know what I mean? Like, runs the gamut of what's out there and what's available. So, there's always something redeeming in most every style. And I just try and find that so I can enjoy it. But, yeah, as far as my personal playlist, definitely funk and soul is where my heart's at. That's what I like to listen to in my downtime.
Cool. What about you, Darren? I already know, but tell the people.
Man, I'm all over the place. It can be what they call EDM. I call it techno back in the day.
Electronic.
Electronic. Classic rock, hair metal. I mean, that was definitely something I heard growing up. The funny thing is, that was my best friend in the neighborhood. His older brother played T95. So I'd hear that classic rock, hair metal, but then I'd go work at the grocery store, and Linda Produce would have KKRD on, so I'd hear all the top 40.
Right.
So I mean, I was very fully diverse and, you know, or not diverse, I just well knowledgeable, eclectic about 80s music. But honestly, here lately, I've been playing the Cheap Trick channel on Pandora.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And that's when you mentioned the windows down. That takes me back to the 80s, because honestly, I was driving my mom's car, and back then they called it. The AC in the car was 255 AC, which meant 2 windows down, 55 miles an hour going down the highway.
That's awesome. All right, next we got another keeper of the flames one. We got ICT Red. So this one's got a little habanero in it.
You can see the chunks.
Yeah, you see the chunkies.
Oh, you went to town. Good.
So when it comes to a DJ, a lot of people think a DJ just plays music. How do you get to that next level, or when did you get to that next level of a DJ status to where, like, dude, I'm doing more than just playing a set list here?
Well, you know, I mean, I think a lot of it came from like, so one of the first clubs I played in Wichita was Finn's Lounge, the old split level, old school, original building before Tori's Pizza. Their dance floor, the space was probably the size of this table. It was like a 6 foot by 4 foot section. That was the dance floor. It wasn't built for dancing. They had the heaviest bar stools on the planet. There was a pool table downstairs, and it was just this very small, intimate split level. I wish that place still existed as a bar, because it would work today, because it's just small and intimate enough. It wasn't a big club, but it would work great with a very like high-end cocktail menu, like a high-end bartending service, but neither here nor there. But people came there to enjoy music, but it wasn't a dance party. So I learned how to play subtly and how to read body language. And okay, I got a head nod, I got a toe tap, and playing for a room that isn't active. It's very easy to be a rock star, if you will, and just play the hits, sing-alongs. But to read body language and get a feel of how to read people and read a room. A lot of times when I'm doing weddings, and I'm like, if you don't have a specific vibe you want for cocktail hour, just let me do what I do. And most of the time, that's a really random playlist. But I'm like, okay, they're tapping their toe to this song. I'm going to get them on the dance floor with this. Ooh, they're mouthing the words to this. This is going to go big later. So it's reading people and just knowing a whole lot of music. I mean, some of the things I get asked for now, not just DJing, but I get asked to make playlists. And I'm like, all right, what's my audience? Who is it? What's my age demographic? Where are they from? So I can create these playlists for corporate, you know, they have a bunch of people coming in. We need a playlist. We want a DJ, but we don't have the room for it. Can you make us a playlist? Sure. So it's just kind of studying people. It's kind of being like a sociologist of sorts and knowing kind of backgrounds. But I think the other thing is, you know, you do it enough, you do get the skill set. So I'm able to freestyle, and I don't plan most of my events unless I have like a very fixed thing. Like if I'm, like when I was opening for Cool and the Gang at Riverfest last year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to plan something. I've got a few different options that I could do depending on where the crowd is. But I think that's the other thing that people forget about, because we come to this era of DJing being the rock star producers, the electronic, the EDM guys. I don't call that DJing, and a lot of people do. And I'm like, DJing is responding to what's in front of you. When you have a pre-canned set, now I get it. You're going to do that because people are coming to see that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's not DJing. DJing is responding to a room and being like, this isn't working, I got to go here. This isn't working, I got to go there. So they're producers, and I respect that, and they perform as DJing, but it's not my opinion what DJing is all about. But yeah, to get to the next level, I think it's just a lot of time and being in a lot of rooms and working on the craft. Like I see a lot of people, like I do lessons now, and I see people get like, I got equipment, I'm going to be a DJ. I'm like, there's a little more than that, and just being well seasoned and traveling and being open to things. And I never thought I'd be a country DJ. Given the opportunity, I'm like, let me do the work. But that's the other thing. A lot of people, they get equipment, they're out in a club the next week. I mean, I DJed in my bedroom for 3 years before anyone had heard me do it. So it's
Had a lot of practice. Yes.
Yeah, a whole lot of practice. Technology's made the curve a lot less than what it used to be. That's for sure too. A lot easier now.
That's good.
Sounds like the photography industry.
And the video industry.
Yeah. No, but I'm going to bounce off of that. The reading of the room, that's where we've done really well together. When we have done weddings, the reception part is he plays energetic music for the crowd, and he's watching them. And I'm watching the crowd because I need reactions, and I'm listening to the song, to what he's playing, and I know when those parts where they're going to sing up because they're singing to the chorus. They're those hits from either their high school days or their college days or something new, but I'm bouncing off what he's doing because of what he's watching.
Well, and your skill set, I mean, with your history of bar life, you spend enough time in a bar, you get a sixth sense of moments, and you kind of have a different perception, which is why I love it when you shoot, because you get your spidey sense tingling. It's going to happen. It's coming. I know it. So when I see him moving in position well in advance of what's coming, but he's already got it in his head. He's like, oh, yep, it's about to go right there. And it's so fun to watch you work when we've got gigs together. It's always such a blast.
Ultimate photo was from Jen and Kyle's wedding in Estes Park.
Yes, Stanley.
You play that one song and you do a total flip. I don't know what you call that. But I was at the right spot, right moment, caught the right guy. So you want to explain the technique?
Yes. So that was Turn Down for What into 1,000 Miles, I believe was what? Yeah.
Oh,
so we got the
nice.
Turn Down for What, the huge, majestic build-up. Turn down for... The Terry Crews where he's doing his peck dance, and like the whole room just like looks like what? And half the people are just in tears laughing, and it was great.
It worked.
But I had this guy, he's like arms, I mean he's ready to explode, and he just downbeats. And you just see the disappointment.
He was
crushed.
I kicked him right between the legs.
It was a good one. That was a good one. I still see that shot right here because.
So my favorite from that wedding. So I also did Jen's sister's wedding, and we did the anniversary dance where I get everyone out there. And unbeknownst to her sister, I was using her wedding song and called them out to start the dance. And I remember her realizing it and she's like, "Wait a!" I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I got goosebumps just seeing that in my head." It was. I love creating those moments, man.
That's cool. All right, we're gonna step it up a little bit more. This is another Keeper of the Flames. This is Riverside Extreme Carolina Reaper. So look at that report on there. All right, cheers.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's hot.
I had a little vinegar right up front.
Yeah, a little bit. But then the heat just
Washes everything else gone.
consumes.
Well, that's hot.
Yeah.
So, Carmen, I've learned from the Wichita Dinner Table Show that your daughter just loves theater.
She is theater kid.
Does that passion come from you taking her to theater as a little girl, or where does that come from? And do you have the same passion?
No, I've got an appreciation for theater. I'm a fan of live performance, period. Tongue's not feeling right. Hold up. I don't think the 7-Up was a good call, man. That's just now bubbling.
Want water?
Could I?
Sure.
Oh, man. I got 2 more to go. Oh, pizza.
Yeah, I'm hot.
All right, there we go. Okay.
Cheers.
No, so yeah, no, I always had an appreciation for theater, but Brooklyn, she got into it. Her cousins were doing CPT, Christian Performance Theater, and let's give that a shot. And then she just met the people, and she just found this group and her peer group. She found her tribe is really what it boils down to, and she just dove head first. And I'm like, I'm all in supporting this. I will embrace this, and it's been an amazing adventure. And to be able to have opportunities to present her with some cool opportunities, like Beetlejuice this past week. I'm like, oh God, if I could tear up this time, not. Yeah, I couldn't even get through my shout outs at the dinner table the other night. I was like, whew.
It was a good moment we have. If you haven't watched the Wichita Dinner Table Show, you need to go check it out on Wichita by EB's channel. Carbon's on there. Darren, we need to have you on as a guest sometime. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. All right, we're going to keep on rolling through these bad boys. We got 2 left. We got Extreme Scorpion next. I don't know what's hotter, that Reaper that we just had or this Scorpion.
Ooh,
Probably won't even taste the Scorpion.
my nose is running.
See this is the point where it's like heat for the sake of heat, and it's not a flavor anymore. That's where I typically tap out.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a good one. I don't remember having that one.
I think the longer they sit in this little ice chest cooler we got over here, the hotter they get.
God, oof, I believe so.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get a little dab like you did, Carbon.
I'm just scraping half my dab off. And, is this more than that?
All right, here we go. This is Extreme Scorpion, Highway 54, maybe. Whew, got that nose running.
Yeah, that one hit the nose.
I think the other one was hotter.
I think so too.
This one has a little bit of flavor.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, I think that's one. I can't taste it because of the last one, but
Yeah, I think that last Reaper was definitely hotter.
yeah, 100%.
So I asked you about it before we were recording, but I want to ask you again. You recently got a logo put up for your business, DJ Carbon. You know, the old one was the
Hulk? Yeah,
And
designed
it
by
was-
Troy Wells. Shout out to Troy.
And was it designed after one of those little things you put in the smaller records
Yes.
to make them fit? Okay, I always thought
So
that.
the 45 adapter was
Yes.
something that I even. So I would say the Hulk logo was my first logo, but even on my business cards before that, I would always work that 45 adapter into anything. That was just kind of my thing because I collect records.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, 45s have the big hole, and you would have an adapter that you would put on your turntable. But you always had to add it, remove it, add it, remove it. So they sold these plastic inserts that you would put in the record, and it could stay there, so you never had to mess with the adapter. So.
Yep.
Yep, I've always had a fascination with that. I always thought it was just a cool looking shape, and so always worked that into just about any logo I've had.
The burps are coming. Jeez. Yeah, I remember using those adapters as a kid and playing my records. So, whew. Yeah, I can't think straight right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Intense. This is intense.
This is called Death Nectar. So,
FML, Jesus.
yeah. So, we might even just
Yeah, you want to just put something in
pour a little
dip?
bit out. Maybe dip in it, or
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I mean, I'm just pouring a bunch out. You don't definitely don't have to take all that.
Yeah, you know what I want.
And I won't either. This one literally almost killed me last time. I thought I was going to die. I went to Papa's afterwards and got a milkshake, and it didn't work. Like, had the reverse effect, and I was in my car screaming for dear life. I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
See, this.
So.
I'm telling you. So we got a challenge going on later. There's gonna be some pinball involved, and this is him throwing me off my game. He knows he doesn't stand a chance on a level playing field. He's like, let me F Carbon up, and that
All right,
way.
let's come eat some hot sauce.
Oh,
All right, I got a little dip.
God.
I bet it's too
I'm
much.
scared. We're gonna. All right, let's cheers this last one.
Madre da Padre Espiritu Santo.
Oh God, it doesn't even taste good.
Oh, it's got a sour taste.
Yeah, it's just gross.
That's bitter. That's heat. That's not what I was talking about earlier. That heat for the sake of heat, where there's not a flavor. Like, no,
So Carbon, that wraps up the gauntlet, dude. It's official. You made it.
survived. Okay,
You made it. You survived. So tell the good people out there where they can find you. Drink some more of that ranch.
Yeah, you can find me on all social media platforms. Carbon DJ, DJCarbon.com. Typically post up a calendar every month, and I don't have the residencies that I used to. I'm floating all over the place. I'm at skate night most Fridays for adult skate. That's from 9:30 to midnight at Carousel.
Death nectar.
I inhaled some of that. Ooh. Second and fourth Wednesdays over at the Candle Club. Great time over there for members there. But other than that, yeah, just keep an eye out because I'm a little bit everywhere. I'll be doing some stuff with Riverfest, doing some stuff with Elsewhere Fest. You know, by the time this comes out, I talk about this weekend's lineup, but that's going to already be gone. But yeah, man, just stay active. And if you ever in need of a DJ or a host or anything along those lines, just give a holler.
Yep. Well, appreciate you coming in, Carbon.
Thank you. Whew.
That wraps it up for this gauntlet. As always, I am Troy.
I'm Darren.
DJ Carbon.
We'll see you next time.